What is up, y'all? Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. So it is 2023 and I know there's still a bunch of you. When I say a bunch, I mean a lot. When I say a lot, I mean tons of you still want to become an au pair. And so in today's video, I'm going to walk you through how I would become an au pair in 2023. If I had to start this process all over again, whether I'm returning or not returning, knowing what I know, coming out on the other side of a pandemic, this is how I would do it. Now, you may want to stick around because there's another way that I recently figured out you could become an au pair, a different way, and I think I would actually do it that way, to be honest with you. But let's talk about the way that I came. And I'm going to give you guys both these options in case you want to go with option A or option B. So the first option I would consider, let's say consider, is I would first thing first, let's say no experience, nothing, I would get my hours. I would start looking after people's kids, because when you become an au pair, you can't count your family's kids. And so I would offer to look after the neighbors' kids. I would offer to look after people's kids at church. How I got my hours is from church. I did Sunday school and all these things at church. I helped out at organizations and all those stuff. So by the time I became an au pair, I already had my hours. And so if you have 0 hours, if you're starting with, oh, I just look after my nieces and nephews, go volunteer at a church, go offer to be in Sunday school, go offer to work at a creche after school, or just a few hours at a creche. Just say, hey, I know you guys can't pay me. If they can't pay you, great. But if they say we're not looking to hire people, we can't pay you, just say, okay, cool, but can I help look after the kids from, let's say, 3 to 5? It's gonna be totally free, but at the end of it, can you like just vouch and see if I'm a great person with kids? Because you want to get your hours in. And everywhere, at least in my opinion, people are not gonna say no. So I would say get your hours. The next thing I would do is start researching countries. Now, a lot of people don't know this, and I didn't even know this. You can au pair in other countries other than America. You can go to China, you can go to Australia, you can go to Paris, you can go to New Zealand, you can go to England, you can come to America. There's so many options out there. Google. This is one thing I regret not Googling the countries, because I would have found a place that fits in my personality. Now, I am happy in America, don't get me wrong. However, when I look at certain countries, I'm like, oh my gosh, I could have also gone an au pair there. It would have been fun. I could have either did it for 6 months, for a year, and then came to America or gone to these other places. And so I would say Google the country you want to go to. What are you trying to get out of this experience? The next thing I would say is reach out to an agency. So if you know exactly which country you want to go to, look up those countries and look up agencies in those countries, and then reach out to an agency. And once you reach out to an agency, start your process. And while you're starting your process, save money, because the process is going to require some money. So in that moment when you're at the creche, ask if you can take pictures with the kids. You reached out to your agency now, and so now you need to start writing a letter about yourself. You need to start sorting out your passport if you don't have a passport. I always say though, let me just say this, when you start getting your hours, try get your passport. If you have the money to get your passport beforehand, but sometimes home affairs or wherever you get your passport can take time. And then while you're preparing your profile, you can get your police clearance, you can do your visa interview. That's all the kind of stuff I would do next. And then the next thing, once my visa's been approved, instead of me just sitting and waiting until it comes back, I would start preparing myself to leave, because I packed last minute and I brought a lot of clothes. Now, if I had known, and funny enough, you think the first time I learned, nope, the second time I did the same thing. But this time around, I would say pack early, and also make sure you bring stuff that you like. And I saw this girl on one of the groups that I'm on. Her mom bought her like 6 months worth of toiletries, and she was like, it was the best thing I could have done for myself, because you can always buy more clothes. It's harder to find toiletries in foreign countries from your country. And so if you're coming from Brazil, it's gonna be hard to find it here. If you're coming from China, it's gonna be hard to find it here. Versus clothes, you can easily find jeans, top, shirts, whatever, unless it's your favorite thing. But I would say start packing, start doing your farewell, start preparing. That's what I would do if I was becoming an au pair this year. Now, this is a rough. I have more detailed step-by-step ones on my channel. This is just a rough overview of how I'd become an au pair here. Now, the second part, which I want to say I kind of bashed in the beginning, or I may not, is coming without an agency. And this is B. So I recently saw quite a few girls on TikTok do this, and I was like, oh my gosh, they look like, obviously when you come to America you still have fun, but when you go without an agency, I feel like you control how fast you become an au pair. That's how I feel, because I feel like versus now, I don't think you can come without an agency to America. I think you have to have an agency, versus in other countries the family sponsors you. You start the process. Most of them showed me that they went onto Facebook groups, they created a profile on Facebook groups. I also feel like it's a bit cheaper than coming through an agency because you don't pay an agency fee. Now I must say that in terms of safety, I highly do not recommend it, because you have to do your own background check. There's a little bit more admin involved with that route. However, I feel like if you are a thorough person and you do it properly, it is possible. It is definitely possible, because there's a bunch of au pairs that did it and they're still alive, they're still safe. Just make sure you do research on the family and that you're not being gullible and just believing everything they say. Also, don't pay their money. But I think as a returning au pair, I would have returned to another, well, not returned, but I would have gone to another country the second time around if I knew that that was an option out there. Because I just feel like, especially if you're somebody who wants to leave leave and start your au pair world faster, I feel like that is a bit faster. Because with agencies, there's so many things that you have to go through. There's the back and forth of, oh, your picture doesn't look good, your picture looks great, no, yes, no, yes. Versus with that, I think it eliminates, you go straight from on Facebook, you create your profile, they see your picture, they message to start talking to you, you FaceTime, and then you do the visa, and then once your visa's through, you book the flight or the family books the flight. That's another thing. Versus with agencies book the flight for you. With that, it's either you'll pay for the flights or they pay for the flights, and then you there. Versus the agency, and I'm not, but I highly recommend agencies. I just feel when it comes to waiting, and if you want to take a risk, yeah, that's the only thing. The safety concern for me is still I don't know how I feel, just because they're not what's this word, they're not like agencies here in America check families. Now I'm not saying every family is amazing, but agencies here in America check families. And so yeah, that's how I would do it. If you want a more detailed step by step, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, go and look at my other videos on how to become an au pair. There's a whole playlist called how to become an au pair. Or I will you can DM me on Instagram and I can send you the checklist I created over a year ago for au pairs. I still have it. I can DM it to you, and you can, I can email it to you. Just DM me your email address. Do not put your email address in my comment section, because random strangers are in the comment section too. I'd rather have you DM me your email and I send it to you personally. I don't want the whole world to see your email address. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, y'all.